Welcome to Lead with Clarity. This is a space for leaders who want to grow without losing themselves in the process. Each episode is a short reflection on leadership, influence, and the inner work that shapes how we show up for others. It's not hype, not noise, just clear thinking for the journey of leading well. Today's episode is entitled The Discipline of Letting Go, Nadella on Tradition and Innovation. Here we go. There's a particular kind of failure that doesn't look like failure while it's happening. It looks like steadiness. It looks like discipline. It looks like a team doing exactly what has always worked, right up until the moment it stops working, and by then the gap is too wide to close quickly. Satya Nadella put words to this when he said, "Our industry does not respect tradition, it only respects innovation." He was talking specifically about technology, an industry where the half-life of a good idea can be measured in months. But if you sit with that statement for a minute, you'll notice it isn't really about technology at all. It's about what happens to any organization, any team, any leader once the world stops asking permission before it changes. Here's the leadership moment worth pausing on. The companies that get left behind are rarely the ones who never saw the shift coming. Many of them saw it. Somebody on the team raised a hand. Somebody flagged the trend. Somebody said the market was moving, and the leadership chose, consciously or not, to protect what was familiar instead of building what was necessary. That's not a failure of awareness, that's a failure of will. The common misread is treating this quote as a call to chase every new tool, every new platform, every shiny capability that shows up promising to change everything. That is not innovation. That's anxiety wearing innovation's clothes. Real innovation is not about abandoning what came before just because it's old. It's about being honest with yourself about which parts of how we've always done it are still earning their keep and which parts you're protecting simply because change feels like loss. Here's a reframe. Tradition is not the enemy. Tradition is only dangerous when it stops serving the mission and starts serving the leader's comfort instead. A process, a structure, a way of making decisions, all of these can be genuinely load-bearing, holding up something real. Or they can be a habit you've mistaken for a value. The work of leadership is telling the difference and telling the difference honestly, even when the honest answer is uncomfortable. This matters even more if you're leading in an environment shaped by AI tools, because those tools compress the distance between this used to work and this no longer works. What took 5 years to become obvious might now take 5 months. That's not a reason to panic and rebuild everything. It's a reason to get sharper, faster, about which parts of your approach are genuinely essential and which parts you're simply attached to. The tool can help you see the gap. It cannot decide what to do about it. That is still yours. So here's something to carry forward. Somewhere on your team right now, there is a process, a policy, or a belief that survives mostly on habit. Not because it's serving anyone particularly well, but because nobody has had the real conversation about whether it should still exist. Find that thing this week. Not to tear it down reflexively, but to ask, honestly, whether it is still earning its place. Here's the truth underneath all of this. Innovation was never really about the new. It was always about honesty. The willingness to look clearly at what you've built, keep what still serves the people it was built for, and let go of the rest, even when letting go is the harder thing to do. That's what it means to lead well when the ground keeps shifting. Not chasing every new thing and not clinging to every old thing, but staying honest about which is which.